So you're telling me meta ads are actually going to be beneficial for my business? Like, how could it be that Facebook, like launching Facebook for my home service business, is actually going to meaningfully create results? It's just Facebook ads, right? But there's something that I really didn't understand about Facebook ads and their like value proposition to us as business owners. And from the journey of like 6 to 7 figures a year, something clicked in my head where it was like, it's not just Facebook ads. It's not the fact that I'm just running them. It's the fact that it creates a ton of value. And for the business owners that understand that and leverage it, they're able to actually outperform everyone in their market because they understand what makes it work. And when it doesn't, how to make it work and how to judge it based off of success metrics. The biggest problem that I notice with home service business owners when it comes to like Facebook is they say it succeeds or it doesn't work, and there's no in between. And the reason is because there's nothing to define success. Like, what does it mean you failed, or what does it mean that, yeah, Facebook ads got you great results? I want to start by just asking you a simple question. Do meta ads work for any contracting businesses in your market? And if the answer is yes, what are they doing that's working compared to other people that might have tried that it didn't work for? How are they getting it to work? It doesn't matter if they're smaller or bigger than you. Are they using meta ads and like using it to get leads? If so, why? And what type of results are they getting from it? It's easy to blame Facebook as like the culprit for getting bad leads or no leads at all. When it comes down to it, Facebook is $1 trillion platform. It's really difficult to not getting results when Facebook literally gets paid trillions of dollars a year by business owners to put themselves out there. So in this video, I want to challenge my own opinion about how Facebook ads might not actually be beneficial to businesses. And if this makes sense with you, let's dive in together and see what might not have worked for your business if you tried it. And if you haven't and say it doesn't work, let's see what it is about Facebook that either works or doesn't. So the issue is that meta ads, a lot of home service business owners come out, and I hear this all the time online. Meta ads, they either work or they suck. But what is this based off of? Like, what is the definition of working? You could have two companies in the same exact market that do Facebook ads, one that tries and gets great results and one that tries and gets horrible results. And they'll both have very different perspectives on Facebook. One will be like, okay, this made me money, I'm gonna invest further. And now on top of referrals, home shows, maybe door knocking, canvassing, and billboards, they have another reliable lead channel to scale into to actually grow their business. And the other would have experienced something where it's like, it's a little bit negative. I have a negative connotation with Facebook and I don't really want to invest further money. But before we go any further, I'd like to ask you, as a 7 or 8 figure business owner, how much money did you spend on ads last year? And it doesn't just have to be Facebook. This can be every single marketing channel that you have. How much did you spend? How much did you pay for the people to help you run those ads and marketing? For most home service business owners, it's 10% of revenue. So if this is a $5 million a year company, 10% of revenue marketing spend would be $500,000 marketing spend total. Remember how we said there could be the exact same service area in 2 different companies that have dramatically different experiences about Facebook ads and just experience with a marketing channel? Well, we'll take 2 examples, company A and company B. They're both doing $5 million a year, and they both have a 10% revenue of total marketing spend. They both have a 10% marketing spend from total revenue. Each company has a $20,000 average ticket, and we'll just call this either a roofing or HVAC company for simplicity. Meaning, regardless of where everyone's leads came from, company A and company B both closed 250 jobs, installs, in the past year. And from that, the average close rate in the industry is right now 25% on total leads. So if we take that 250, divided by 25%, Company A and Company B ran 862 appointments. Okay, both of them. The thing is, they both tried meta ads in the past year, and one of them got great results with it and the other didn't. The question becomes, how? So then you scroll back on up here and you realize, okay, if I spend $1 in marketing, I get 10 back in revenue. That seems like a pretty sweet deal, right? So then you look at how many appointments did you run for the entire year because of your close rate and how many jobs did you close? And you come down here and you realize that success is defined by how much money you put in and how much money you put out. It's really as simple as that. If you put $1 into a machine and then press a button and it comes out with 10, is that a successful transaction? If the answer is yes, then you know that you have an actual formula for what is successful and what's not. Not that it's $10 coming out, but that you come out making more money than you put in. And with Facebook, it's the exact same. It's not just about the fact that you're putting out ads that people scroll through when they're chilling on their phones, and homeowners are, waiting for the kids, picking them up from school, and just in the car while scrolling, or maybe on the toilet. But it's more so for you as the business owner, the math calculation. So now we have the same definition for what success looks like. So they both try Facebook ads. Company A spends $5,000 on their ads. Company B spends $5,000 on their ads. And this is in 1 month. Company A brings in 35 leads meaning people that are interested in their service. They need a new install for whatever project it was. And they actually have the money to move forward, and they're looking forward to do it soon. So 35 legit leads. Company B, on the other hand, brings in 5 leads. Company A turns 70% of their total leads into appointments. Company B turns 100% of their leads into appointments. Both have the same exact close rate and the same exact ticket size. So let's find out the total number of appointments that Company A and Company B's sales team actually ran. We can see that with the same $5,000 on both sides, Company A ran 5 times more appointments, meaning their throughput was 5 times higher. And since the downstream closing rate and the average ticket is the same, Company A closed quite literally like 5 to 6 times more than Company B with the same input on the amount spent on ads. What's this in revenue? $120,000 for Company A, $20,000 for Company B. You might be thinking, okay, we've been doing a shit ton of math and we've been looking at this and it's just numbers and it's like, okay, this is just common sense. What do I not know? And that's a great question. The reason why I brought these 2 examples up is to show you this exactly. With the same $5,000 in the same service area, selling the same service, either roofing or HVAC, but this applies to every other contracting niche, Company A, this home service business, was able to spend $5,000 in 1 month, generating $120,000 in additional revenue, right? Based on this, would we quantify this as being successful or unsuccessful? Well, we can do a quick math calculation to realize that for every dollar we put in to advertising on Facebook, that means that for every dollar Company A put into ads, they got 24 back. But meanwhile, Company B, even though they had 100% of leads that came through actually turned into an appointment, it doesn't matter because overall their money economics, they don't make sense. For every dollar they put in on ads, they got 4 back, and it doesn't even consider gross profit yet. Company B is just not satisfied with this return because ultimately they need to have at least like a $6 return, ideally $10 for every dollar they spend on ads to turn into that for it to be considered successful. So you're fully justified in seeing that Company B had a horrible experience when it came to running ads online. The question becomes, what was the difference between what these 2 companies did to be able to get 2 drastically different outcomes? And how do we bias towards always getting the great outcome that Company A got? And it comes down to this. Company A successfully attracted attention, cost per lead of $142. Company B, on the other hand, well, their cost per lead was $1,000. But hang on a second. 70% of Company A's leads turned into appointments, meaning there was 25 appointments. So there was some loss throughout there, but even though there was some loss in that area, Company A still won out on Company B. So the issue wasn't with the whole entire process failing because clearly Facebook was able to produce a meaningful result for Company A where they were able to get cost per lead of $142 and then cost per appointments of $200. The problem is that Company A put something out on Facebook that was 5 times less effective in bringing in leads from the top of the funnel, meaning what was being put on the ads or the landing page, where they were just unable to successfully get someone to opt in, which is what detracted so much results and resulted in Company A getting 5 times more return with the same amount of money. So then this begs the question, what could they have done differently? What was the actual issue with what they put out there? The issue is clearly not the lead quality. And even if it was the lead quality, we can track it back to what was being said on the ads. This is where I introduce an important concept called layer 1, layer 2 thinking. Layer 1, how much money did I spend? How much money did I get back? But clearly we were able to identify just by breaking down the funnel that the issue lied at the top of the funnel with getting leads through. So then now looking with layer 1 metrics, we can't really tell, like, yes, it's just unsuccessful from this perspective. But then if we actually want to fix the issue and get the results from company A, we have to look at a few data points. These are called layer 2 metrics. What was my cost per lead? And then made up of the cost per lead, which leads to ultimately the calculation for how much money you get out of your return. You can make this up in multiple metrics. Like, what is cost per lead? Well, cost per lead is how much money it costs to get in front of people. So that's your CPM. What's your cost to get someone to click on your ad and actually show their interest? And what percentage of those people actually convert into a lead? When you actually have the data and you're able to break it down, you're able to see where in the process did I go wrong? Because again, from an eagle's eye view, company B completely shit the bed, but you can actually fix it. So we take a look at their metrics. If you look at Facebook and you pull up the ad metrics, you're gonna find these data points. And so let's keep it simple and say that company A and company B, you have their data. Company A had a $50 CPM, meaning it costs $50 to get in front of 1,000 people. Meaning, well, with the 5,000, just divide that by the 50, they got in front of 100,000 people. Company B, same CPM. Company A's cost to get someone from that 5,000, overall, how many clicks on their ad did they get from people who are actually interested? Well, you just take total marketing spend divided by the total number of clicks. For company A, they see that they got 2,500 clicks, which means that there were 2,500 homeowners who saw an ad and they clicked on it because they're interested in a specific home service, which means that their cost per click was $2. Company B's cost per link click, $4, because there were 1,250 people who clicked on their ad. What does this all mean, right? It's just numbers, just marketing numbers, right? But this actually matters to the business owner because it means that company A, just from the perspective of clicks alone, is able to spend and get double the number of eyeballs with the same number of people because, well, their ads are better. Their ads are getting more people to click on them because they're more interested. Now, what about the last metric? We talked about landing page conversion rate. Well, company A, to get 35 leads, what percentage of 2,500 is 35? So take 35 leads and divide it by their total number of clicks. And we get a landing page conversion rate of 1.4%. Meaning 1.4% of people who click on the ad and land on the landing page end up becoming a lead. How about company B? 5 leads divided by 1,250, 0.4%. So does this make sense? It should make sense by now. Company A is succeeding because whatever they're putting on their ads is generally attracting more people. And when it comes to actually filling out their information, homeowners feel more sold on going with company A just from a marketing perspective and giving them their information, giving up their personal information because they see the value of it. Company B is not doing a great job selling themselves. They have an issue with, number one, 50% less effective ads, and then a landing page conversion rate so low, it's just essentially detracting everybody. And so what are some lessons we can learn from this? Well, number one, meta ads can work. It just depends on how well were they and how effective were they. Because if you view meta ads and just advertising in general as how many dollars did I put in, how many dollars I get out, it's very clear that it doesn't matter where you get your revenue from. As long as you have a system that's working, that's what matters to the business. But when it's not, or when it's less effective, it's important to break it down in this way with a bottleneck analysis so that you know what areas can I work on. And so if you've gone through this exercise and you've done this data, where is the actual contraction? And how does it differ from the people in your markets who are crushing it? If you're doing well, how does it differ from the people in adjacent markets that are crushing it even more than you? All this to say, throwing meta under the bus for just not working is a lackluster and lazy way of saying I did not spend the adequate time in breaking down what part of my system didn't work or what part of my system was malfunctioning and then solving that. You wouldn't go to a barber get a horrible haircut, get buzzed and nicked, and essentially get bald on one side of your head, and then go and say, oh yeah, all barbers suck. You would identify either number one, you might have turned your head really quickly, or number two, your barber is really, really incompetent. And the barber could be Facebook. The barber could be your pickup rate. The barber could be the cost to get a link click. All these parts of the system, but maybe the barber just didn't get enough sleep, or the barber had a spasm in his hand, and that could be algorithm change. It could be the fact that you turned your head, you didn't keep your eye on the ball, you weren't tracking metrics enough, you weren't involved enough. And so all this to say, Meta, $1 trillion platform, will always be the winner. The house always wins. But if you want success on Meta, that's why tracking data is so important. Because you can find out everything about where you're succeeding. And if you define success and you track the things that make up your success, you'll never go wrong. And so marketing, to me, I don't judge where my 7 figures a year comes from. If it's from Meta, if it's from Google, if it's from referrals, I'm happy with it. But the second I see my revenue contract, which I'll never let happen, by the way, as a responsible business owner, I'm attacking the key metric that is preventing me from growing. And if I don't do that, I'm not gonna blame an entire platform for it. I'm gonna blame myself for not taking the accountability to go ahead and actually make sure that my system's running smoothly. And so by this point in the video, I leave off with the fact that everything is our fault. Everything is also because of us. We hired someone to help us. They didn't produce a great enough result. The issue was not that they weren't good enough. The issue is that we didn't find the right person. We ran ads, we didn't get good enough results. Maybe the cost for getting the link click was too high. Well, maybe I'm just not good enough at saying the things that people actually want in a way that they like it. So other people are better at that and they're gonna obviously go to them. Or people are just not opting in enough on my landing page compared to other people. That's another way of saying I'm not able to create an offer that's great enough, or I'm not able to position my company different enough from the people in my market to differentiate and make them trust me enough to at least give me their phone number or email. Can you see how this is not Meta's responsibility? Meta just puts the eyeballs out there. Meta is just TV, but on the phone. It doesn't matter where you get your leads from. The system is broken when there's one part in the cog that's not working. And so I challenge you, you're doing great in your business, 7 to 8 figures a year. Where's the contraction right now? Run a bottleneck analysis. Where's the contraction? And are we blaming it on people? If we're blaming it on people, if we're blaming it on things, why? Can't we look at it and realize that it's caused by the things that we do as inputs as business owners? Because then business is just a game of numbers. And no one's to blame but ourselves because we can control every input. You reach this point in the video, that means you're very serious about growing your business. Me and my team at Roof Ignite and Contractors Ignite, we help 7 to 8 figure home service business owners scale with Meta ads. And so we walk through the math, taking data from roofers, HVAC contractors, and other home service business owners in every vertical. We have data across the country that we can use to plot out potential number of appointments you'll get with your ad spend. And we look at what you might have done in the past, whether that be successful, great, or some things that you could have done better. And we put out a plan in terms of what you could be doing to add on an additional 7 figures a year minimum in extra installs. And so if that sounds like something you're interested in and you want to speak to one of my team members, I invite you to go to the link in my description, click on that, fill out a form, and then see if you qualify to work with my team, and then request a call. So if that's you, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching.